Hello, people. Here we are in a simple, unassuming little apartment with a simple, unassuming door. What could be inside, perhaps? Look up here, it says, computer room. But this is not just a computer room. It is a Doom room. Let me show you. Yeah. And holy crap, is it toasty in here. We got a whole bunch of computers around the side here, and I'm going to show you one at a time what they are, but this is just a glance over what they all are. You probably recognize a few of them already. Let's start over here with this one. This is an IBM Aptiva. It is a Pentium 133. It was made in 1996. This particular model of Aptiva is special to me because I refer to this as the first usable computer that I ever owned. It was brand new. It was the first computer that my family got brand new back in 1996. It wasn't this exact unit, but it was this exact model. Why don't I have the original one anymore? Because it was broken and I didn't know if I could fix it, so I threw it away, and I'm stupid, and now I think I could have fixed it, so yeah, whatever. Regret. Anyway, this computer has a factory default installation of everything on it, which is Windows 95, and I think I upped the RAM to 32 megabytes and put a bunch of games on it, including Doom. This also has the appropriate model keyboard, appropriate model mouse for this particular computer, not appropriate model monitor, but it is an IBM monitor, and bonus, it is beat to hell. And some creative speakers that I found on a flea market for a couple bucks. As you can see, it runs Doom pretty damn well. Moving onward, this computer here is an SGI Indigo 2. Interesting thing about this computer is even though it's SGI hardware inside, it still takes a regular PS2 keyboard and PS2 mouse. So that's what I've got here. And a VGA monitor with the appropriate 13W3 to VGA adapter in the back, which I have. And I got this on eBay for I think $100 plus shipping. The seller didn't know if it worked. And all I had to do with it was add a hard drive to it and install iRix on it. And guess what it does now? Yeah, you guessed it. Give that a -4 to do quad size so we can actually see something. And yeah, it runs Doom now. It runs SGIDoom specifically, which I believe was ported by id Software themselves by none other than Dave D. Taylor. And you can see it runs it pretty damn well, actually. Looks like the demo's already desynced, though. Yep, it sure has. Oh, and it's only going to get worse from here. Moving onward. I have another computer right here. This is a NeXTStation Turbo Color. One of the last models released from Next Computer. This particular computer has something for RAM and something for CPU, I forget what it is. We have an original Next ADB keyboard here, a Next ADB mouse, a Next soundbox, and a Next monitor. And the monitor is starting to go. I don't know if you can see it kind of wavering right there a little bit. If you look in the corner, you can see it wavering. But I got this from some guy doing business as Black Hole Industries or something like that online. And he gave me the complete package. I installed NeXTStep onto it, and if I can get the damn mouse to work. It's rolling around on a very dusty desk, so it doesn't want to work. But this computer now runs NeXTDoom, another official port by id Software, I believe. Switch that up to double size, which is the highest I can get it to go. But yeah, runs Doom rather choppily, but it does run it. And no sound, even though I've got the sound box here. I don't know why I don't get sound out of this. But yeah, there you go, that's NeXTDoom. Moving onward. Over here, we have a SPARCstation. This is a SPARCstation 10, and it has an original Sun keyboard, original Sun mouse, and then the only tube monitor that I have that can go high enough resolution to actually run this thing. So it's not Sun original, but it works. The person that I got this computer from was actually using this as a doorstop. He didn't know if it worked or not. But I put a hard drive in it, and I bought a frame buffer video card off of eBay for it, and once I put a working clock chip in it, it was able to save its settings. And then I installed whatever this is, Solaris, I think, along with SunDoom. I'm going to run SunXDoom here with the -3 argument for triple size. -4 is too big, I know that already, I tried it. I'm not running the other version of the Doom executable because for some reason whenever that one tints the screen, whenever you pick something up like the armor or if you get hit or something, the screen tends to stay tinted, but the X version of it doesn't. And it still runs pretty well. No sound because this computer doesn't have a sound card in it. I'm not sure if you can get a sound card for this. Well, actually, I'm sure you can. No, I'm not sure. I shouldn't say that when I'm not actually sure. It has like a PC speaker kind of beeper thing in it, but that cannot do digitized sound for this, apparently. Does run Doom pretty well, though. Moving onward, we have here an Amiga 4000, made by Commodore, with an original Commodore monitor, 1080 monitor, I believe, an Amiga 2000 keyboard, because that's what I have to hook up to it, and an Amiga something mouse, which might be appropriate for this computer. I think this is a later model one. And this runs, I forget, it's either Kickstart 3.0 or 3.1, and Amiga OS 3.1. And it runs ADoom, which is an unofficial port. A lot of people said that the Amiga couldn't run Doom because of its hardware architecture. It's more optimized for 2D acceleration. And of course, Doom, up until its more recent source ports, is not 3D accelerated at all, but yeah. So whoever ported this is a freaking genius. They got it running. It takes a really long time to load because I guess the hard drive in this is particularly slow. I'm looking at that light right there. That's the hard drive light, and you see it's just staying solid. It's loading as fast as it can. This has a 68040 CPU in it, running at 25 megahertz. And I believe the maximum amount of chip RAM, I forget how much that is. I haven't played with my Amigas in a while. I got this computer from a guy that lives about 4.5 hours away from me. And I paid way too much money for it, but totally worth it, I think. The Amigas are a really awesome line of computers. I think they're really neat. I didn't get into them until a few years ago. But it took me 4.5 hours to get there and then 4.5 hours back. So 9 hours of driving in one day to get this computer. And I think that's worth it. You done loading yet so I can be done talking? Jesus. What else can we say about this thing? The front on it is a little bit loose. Still hanging on though. This is a 4040 stickered, which like I said, it has a 68040 CPU in it, so that is appropriate. I added the CD-ROM drive to it myself. The Amiga 4000 takes regular IDE hard drives and CD-ROM drives, so that's kind of nice. Takes regular Amiga mice, takes regular Amiga keyboards with an appropriate adapter, which you can use a regular PC AT to PS2 keyboard adapter with this, and it works just fine. My God, are you done loading yet? Maybe I should come back to this. I think I will. So over here, we have a PC. This is a 386 PC of my own build. It's running an Asus 386 motherboard in it, I forget what the model number is, but either 25 or 33 megahertz 386 with a 387 installed as well, which doesn't benefit Doom because Doom doesn't do any floating point arithmetic, but I put it in there because I could. It's also maxed out on cache at 256K of cache. And of course, this being a PC, you bet your ass it runs Doom. Runs DOS Doom, obviously. Oh, Amiga Doom starting up. Finally got past the loading thing. It might actually present us with a screen soon where I can tell it what resolution I want. Oh, this is starting up. This computer, this 386, also has a Sound Blaster AWE32 in it, which is way more than this computer needs, but it's what I had handy and it was easy to install. So you can see the frame rate isn't so great. I put the fastest video card in this that I could find, which is a Diamond Speedstar ISA 64, something like that. It's a Cirrus Logic 5434 GPU, if you want to call it that. It has 2 megs of RAM. Here we go. So for this, you want to go as low resolution as possible in order to get the best performance out of this. And even then, it's not going to be great. At least when you don't have an accelerator installed, which I don't. Either a CPU or a retardable graphics card. I don't have either of those. I'm going to do NTSC low res. You can also do EHB for extended half bright, I think that stands for. And it runs a little bit faster, but there's obviously fewer colors that way. But this runs Doom too. And it's going to continue to load. And take its sweet time about doing it. So while that's doing its thing, we're going to go over here some more. That right there is just functioning as a monitor stand right there. Right now, it is a PC that was built to be a router, I think. It does run Doom, it's just not hooked up. Down over here, we have what's called kind of a shoebox computer, or what might have been used for a point-of-sale system. It's kind of an interesting unit. It takes PC 104 cards on the inside, so it's technically an industrial computer. Got a bunch of ports on the back for serial ports for hooking in cash registers and stuff like that. Serial receipt printers, stuff like that. This computer I bought new, so it was never actually used as a point-of-sale system. It has a 586 AMD CPU in it, running at 133 megahertz. And the only thing I've ever done with this computer is run Doom. It doesn't have any sound in it, so this is going to be totally silent when it's running. The sound you're hearing right now is actually from the computer next to it, and some of the other computers in this room right now. But damn, does it do a good frame rate. For being a thing designed to be a cash register, it sure does run Doom pretty good. Let's go back over here to the Amiga 4000. So it's actually running now. It's stopping periodically to load. I'll keep the hard drive light in the shot though so you can see how that's affecting the frame rate. But whenever it's not loading, it could be playable. Like I said, it runs slightly faster if you run this in the extended half-bright mode. Not by a lot though, and it has fewer colors, so it looks really pretty shitty. Anyhow, we got more computers to hit here. This down here is a Pentium IV compact desktop PC. It has a GeForce card in it, actually. Let's hook up to this monitor up here. And this computer runs... let's not do Ultimate Doom. Hell, let's do Final Doom. Why not? Just start that up. Runs Final Doom under Doom 95, which is an official Windows 95 port of Doom. Let's get this running up to full screen here. I wanted it to run a demo. It just started the game. Let's see, can I tell it to end the game? There we go, now to go back to the demo. Holy hell, is that loud? Let's see, can I make that not explosively loud? Probably. Shit, that's loud. Yeah, I'm going to turn that down a bit. What do I use for this? How does one make it do? Menu, because this is newfangled digital monitor kind of thing, you can't just use a knob to turn down the volume. There, that's a little more non-ear exploding. There. So yeah, that's running Final Doom, the Plutonia experiment, quite nicely. Next computer over here. By the way, there's a couple of other computers I've been skipping over here that are just functioning as monitor stands as well. We have a PC 5150 right there. A PC 5160. The 5160, I believe, has already been featured on my channel before, so I won't bother talking about it. And the 5150 is basically the same. I put all the same stuff in it. And over here, we have an IBM 5170 PC AT. And this computer does not run Doom because it's 286 based. But you know what it does run? It runs Wolfenstein 3D. Barely. Let it detect the hardware. It's getting kind of noisy in here. It's hot in here too. All these computers in here have been running for about an hour now in preparation of making this video, and man, this is not a large room. There would be, that's Wolfenstein 3D starting up there. And I just got a notice on my phone that we're heating up the phone too much. So, this here is a Macintosh Quadra 950. Totally stock, as far as I know. It's running some version of Mac OS. And it runs MacDoom. Come on, focus. Maybe it doesn't run MacDoom. Whoa, jump cut. So, it turns out that my phone was not only starting to overheat and run low on battery, it was also running low on storage. And it's also daytime now. I'm actually filming this part on the next day from the previous clip, because when I recorded this last segment last night, immediately following the previous clip, for some reason this stupid phone camera decided to record it at 30 frames per second instead of 60, so I'm reshooting the entire second segment at 60 frames per second. Anyway, we are right where we left off at the Quadra 950, and we're gonna run a little Doom on it. By the way, everything that I had running in the previous clip and gone all the way around the room, it's all running exactly as it was before. So, I didn't really need to give any explanation for the introduction to this part of the video, other than to say jump cut, because I pretty much restored state on everything. So this Quadra 950 right here runs MacDoom. Not a port done by id Software, but it is an official port. This Quadra 950, I think I got for like $100 a while back. It is not the fastest 68K Mac, although it is 680/40 based. Come on, focus. The fastest 68K Mac is, of course, the Quadra 840 AV, and a lot of people know that it's the fastest 68K Mac, which is why anytime they show up on eBay, they go for really expensive prices, and I'm just kind of like, fuck it. I still want one, though. over here we have an eMac. Oh, it's telling me something's wrong with the clock. I know. Your clock battery's probably dead. It's okay though, just keep... Why is the mouse going right when I tell it to go left? It's bizarre. But this is an eMac, like I said. For as far as I know, these were given primarily to the educational market. They might have eventually been sold direct to consumers. But this eMac here runs PrBoom, which itself is running Ultimate Doom. Runs it pretty well too. I think this computer has either a G4 or a G5 in it. And the story behind this computer is I saw it in a thrift store, and usually thrift stores don't know what they have, which is really good for prices because it makes things really cheap, except whenever they get something in that's an Apple product and that they think that allows them to charge the Apple tax, which means ridiculous price. So when I first saw this on the shelf, they wanted $100 for it. Yeah, $100 friggin' goddamn dollars. And I was interested, but, you know, number one, the price, I didn't want to pay that much. And number two, I saw up here in the corner what looked like a spider crack in it, like what happened, the kind of thing that happens on a car windshield whenever it gets hit by a piece of gravel. It goes dink, and it starts a little spider web crack that eventually spreads. That's what it looked like this had. So I kind of ignored it, came back a few weeks later. It was still on the shelf at the thrift store. They wanted $50 for it. And I'm like, no, still no. And it came back a few weeks later. This time they wanted $25 for it. And I was like, oh, maybe. Came back a few weeks after that. They wanted $15 for it. And I had a coupon of some sort that brought the price down to like $12 or $13. And I was like, well, you know, even with the crack in the screen, and even if it doesn't work, it's probably worth a $12 to $13 risk, so I'll try it. And I brought it home, and they had tried to clean the screen with some kind of ultra streaky, nasty solution stuff. And so the first thing I wanted to do was clean the screen properly. Well, when I did that, the thing that I thought was a crack came off. It was actually just dirt. And so it has a perfectly good screen with a little amount of burn-in at the top from the Apple menu. But other than that, it's a perfectly working Mac. Not bad for $13, huh? Oh, and I think I did add a CD-ROM drive to it. This is not the original one that came in it, but it works. And over here, the next computer, this is an iMac DV. I believe this has a G3 CPU in it. Has some amount of RAM, and I think it's running either OS 8.5 or 6, or maybe OS 9.1 or 2. Something like that. So in this room, this is the fastest Mac I have that's running the classic Mac OS. And this computer also runs MacDoom. It's asking me if I want to set the display to 256 colors. Yes, I would. Thank you for asking. But as you can see with this computer, it comes with that particular Apple keyboard, which I think is appropriate for this particular model of Mac. And over here it has the not-so-beloved Apple Puck mouse, which I actually kind of like the Puck mouse simply because most people don't like it. I'm amused by that concept. But you can see it runs MacDoom pretty damn well. I mean, this is as smooth over here as it's running on my Aptiva over there. Story behind this computer, I found it next to a dumpster. I was on my way to work and it was just sitting there. And so I was like, well, hell yes, free computer. I never say no to free hardware. So it looks like, I mean, it doesn't just look like it, it definitely does. There's a crack on the inside. On the interior case, there's like 2 layers of plastic here. The outside's fine, but on the inside is a crack on the interior plastic. And similar over here, there's like a chunk taken out of the interior plastic right there. So the poor thing looks like it's been dropped down a flight of stairs. But you know what? It runs Doom pretty damn well. Not bad for a free computer. Over here, we have a Mac Mini, which is of some vintage. I don't actually know. I think it has a Core 2 Duo of some sort in it. It's maybe like 6 or 7 years old at this point. It's running OS X Snow Leopard. And this computer runs Chocolate Doom. It doesn't run at full screen because for some reason I get an error whenever I try to run it full screen, so it's in a window that's pretty big that almost takes up the whole screen, but otherwise it runs Chocolate Doom really, really well. I got this computer from a friend who is a Mac aficionado, and he sold it to me for 20 bucks because he was wanting to upgrade one of his Macs, and 20 bucks is the most that Apple would give him to trade it in, so it was basically useless to him beyond $20. So I gave him the 20 bucks and I set it up in here, and now it runs Doom. And our final computer over here, this is a Macintosh 2FX. I don't know if you can see that. This is a big-ass monster of a computer, and it's mostly empty space inside, which is kind of funny. But with it, we have an Apple Teardrop ADB mouse right there. Some kind of Apple monitor, which is about my only official Apple monitor that I actually have, other than my RGB 2GS monitor and my composite 2E monitor. And it's got an Apple design keyboard sitting up on top. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but most of the computers here on this little island table here all have their computers or their keyboards sitting on top of the monitor because I don't have the space. But this computer is the most high-end 68030 based Macintosh that Apple made, and it also runs MacDoom. Nowhere near as well as the iMac DV or even the Quadra 950 over there, but it does run it. I bought this computer on eBay many years ago for about 150 bucks. The only problem it has is a problem that is typical for computers that are using this case and thus that particular power supply, which is if you turn it on, then it has to kind of warm up for a while before it'll actually turn back off. So it's very strange. You can see it runs MacDoom, and yeah, it's a little better than a screensaver. Not exactly playable. It does run. It's kind of loud in here. But that's all my computers running Doom in my Doom room. And damn, the SGI screensaver turned on. Turn off, we're trying to run Doom. There. So between all these computers we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 computers running Doom at the same time in this modestly sized room. Not bad if I do say so myself. If you count the architectures, we have PC, SGI, Next, Sun, Amiga. Those are both PC. That's PC. That's not Doom. And we have 68K Mac there, and PowerPC Mac there and there, Intel Mac there, and also 68K Mac there. So a number of different architectures all also running at the same time. John Carmack, you wrote some damn portable code. And this doesn't even get into the console ports. So add the damn Sun thing, its monitor turned off. Turn back on, we're not done yet. Okay, now we're done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed my Doom room. This was a project quite a long time in the making.